You probably think humanity is at the absolute pinnacle of technological evolution. We have split the atom, engineered artificial intelligence that can process the sum of human knowledge in seconds, and landed rovers on alien worlds. But here is a terrifying and deeply humbling truth. On the actual overarching cosmic scale of advancement, humanity does not even rank as a level 1 civilization. We are not even on the board yet. We are a level 0. Welcome to the Kardashev Scale. Proposed in 1964 by Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev, this framework measures a civilization's level of technological advancement based on a single, inescapable metric: energy. The Kardashev scale strips away human ego. It does not care about our intricate philosophies, our political systems, or how fast our microchips are. The universe only respects one true currency, and that is raw, unadulterated power. How much energy can a species actively harness, control, and consume to fuel its expansion? In this video, we are going to journey step by step through every single stage of this mind-bending scale. We will begin with our current incredibly fragile existence and climb exponentially all the way to the terrifying, incomprehensible heights of type Omega. This is a level where biology is obsolete, where the laws of physics are merely suggestions, and where civilizations become literal gods capable of creating entirely new simulated universes at will. But before we can even begin to comprehend manipulating dark energy, harvesting black holes, or constructing megastructures larger than our entire solar system, we need to take a hard look in the mirror. We need to understand why we are still crawling in the cosmic dirt. Where exactly do we stand right now? And more importantly, what is stopping us from moving forward? Right now, humanity sits precariously at about type 0.73 on the Kardashev scale, a calculation famously made by the legendary astronomer Carl Sagan. Why are we rated so low? Look at how we power our world. Despite our quantum computers and space stations, our primary method of generating energy is embarrassingly primitive. We literally dig up the decomposed remains of plants and animals that died millions of years ago, set them on fire, and use the heat to boil water. From a cosmic perspective, we are basically toddlers playing with matches inside a wooden house. Being a Type 0 civilization is the most dangerous phase in the evolution of any intelligent species. We have unlocked enough technological power to completely destroy ourselves, but we lack the collective wisdom and the planetary control to prevent it. This brings us to a terrifying concept known as the Great Filter. It is the idea that somewhere along the evolutionary timeline, there is a massive, almost insurmountable hurdle that wipes out civilizations before they can reach the stars. Are we approaching our Great Filter right now? Between the lingering threat of nuclear annihilation, severe ecological collapse, and the rapid depletion of our natural resources, the odds are heavily stacked against us. We are in a race against time. We must safely navigate this fragile, volatile transition period without hitting the self-destruct button. But let us assume, for the sake of optimism, that humanity manages to get its act together. Let us imagine we survive the next few critical centuries. If we do not destroy ourselves, a spectacular and radical transformation awaits us. We will finally graduate from the cosmic sandbox and step into a new era. We will become a Type 1 civilization. Welcome to Type 1 status, the Planetary Masters. To achieve this, a civilization must be capable of harnessing and storing 100% of the solar energy that reaches its home planet, as well as actively exploiting all of its internal geothermal and kinetic power. We are talking about a sustained energy output of roughly 10 to the 16th power watts. What does that actually look like for humanity? It means the absolute end of natural disasters as we know them. A Type 1 civilization does not cower in the face of nature, it firmly controls it. We would possess a global weather network capable of dissipating massive hurricanes before they even form over the oceans. We could strategically bleed off the immense pressure of tectonic plates to prevent catastrophic earthquakes. We might even tap into the apocalyptic power of supervolcanoes, transforming global existential threats into limitless power grids. Our sprawling cities would stretch deep into the oceans and perhaps high into the skies, fully integrated with a flourishing, meticulously managed biosphere. Fossil fuels will be a distant, embarrassing memory, completely replaced by advanced fusion reactors and orbital solar arrays beaming clean energy directly to the surface. According to renowned theoretical physicist Mikio Kaku, humanity could reach this monumental milestone in just 1 to 200 years, provided we successfully survive our current growing pains. This will be the golden age of Earth, a unified global species operating with a single planetary culture, communicating on a unified network, sharing resources without the primitive borders that violently divide us today. Disease, poverty, and resource-driven wars would become entirely obsolete concepts. But there is a catch to all this prosperity. The more energy we have, the faster we grow. As our population expands and our technological ambitions continue to soar, a chilling realization will inevitably set in. Even a perfectly optimized Earth has strict physical limits. Every square inch of land, every drop of ocean water, and every single ray of sunlight hitting our atmosphere will eventually be accounted for. We will hit an energetic ceiling. The planetary golden age will start to feel like a highly advanced golden cage. If we want to keep growing, if we want to run computational simulations that map the entire human brain, or build colossal ships capable of safely crossing the interstellar void, we will need exponentially more power. A Type 1 civilization eventually realizes that their home planet is no longer a boundless frontier, but just a tiny, fragile lifeboat. To survive the long game, they must look up. They must turn their eyes toward the raging cosmic furnace in their sky and figure out exactly how to tame it. They must become a Type 2 civilization. When planetary resources are fully exhausted, a civilization must graduate to Type 2, the stellar engineers. At this stage, a species successfully captures and utilizes 100% of the total energy output of its host star. For us, that means completely harnessing the sun. We are talking about a staggering 10 to the 26th power watts of continuous energy. That is billions of times more power than a Type 1 civilization can ever produce. You cannot achieve this monumental feat by simply putting a few more solar panels in high orbit. You have to physically enclose the entire star. Enter the Dyson sphere. Popularized by theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson, this is a megastructure so colossal it absolutely challenges human comprehension. In reality, it would likely not be a solid metallic shell, which would be structurally unstable, but rather a Dyson swarm. Imagine billions of massive, closely spaced solar collectors and orbital habitats circling the sun in a dense, buzzing cloud, absorbing nearly every single photon of light before it escapes into the void of space. To build something of this sheer magnitude, a Type 2 civilization would literally need to dismantle entire planets. We would likely strip mine Mercury and Venus using automated fleets of self-replicating robotic drones to tear the rocky worlds apart and process their raw materials into countless solar satellites. But the engineering marvels do not stop there. With the energy output of a star at their fingertips, a Type 2 civilization gains godlike capabilities. They could engage in a mind-bending process known as star lifting, actively mining the sun itself. By manipulating the magnetic fields of the star, they could siphon off plasma and valuable elements, harvesting the sun for building materials while extending its natural lifespan by billions of years. Furthermore, they could build literal stellar engines, such as a Shkadov thruster. By constructing a massive mirror on one side of the sun, the reflected radiation would create actual thrust, slowly moving the entire solar system through the Milky Way. Why would they do this? To steer our cosmic neighborhood away from apocalyptic threats like wandering black holes or catastrophic supernova explosions. A Type 2 civilization is virtually immune to natural extinction. Asteroid impacts and planetary destruction are trivial annoyances to them. They have conquered their stellar neighborhood. But the relentless engine of progress always demands more. A completed Dyson swarm allows for a staggering population numbering in the countless quadrillions. Yet over millennia, even a fully domesticated star will not provide enough juice for their galaxy-spanning ambitions. The insatiable thirst for absolute survival and infinite computational power demands extreme expansion. When one single star is no longer enough to quench their cosmic thirst, they must cast their gaze upon the glittering night sky. They must leave the comfortable shores of their home star and plunge headfirst into the terrifying, impossibly vast ocean of the galaxy. It is time to ascend to Type 3. Welcome to Type 3, the Galactic Overlords. A civilization at this unimaginable stage of development has outgrown its home star system entirely. They have successfully colonized and harnessed the energy of not just one star, but hundreds of billions of stars across their entire host galaxy. For us, that means completely dominating the Milky Way and wielding an incomprehensible energy output of roughly 10 to the 36th power watts. How does a species even begin to conquer a space so vast that light itself takes 100,000 years to cross it? The answer lies in exponential, automated expansion. They would deploy von Neumann probes, highly advanced, self-replicating robotic spacecraft equipped with cutting-edge artificial intelligence. A single probe is sent out to a neighboring star system, where it mines local asteroids and lifeless moons to build an exact replica of itself. Then, both probes travel to two new star systems, replicate again, and the cycle continues. In a mere few million years, a literal blink of an eye on the overarching cosmic timescale, the entire galaxy is swarming with these automated machines, systematically building Dyson swarms around every single shining star. But a Type 3 civilization does not just rely on standard main sequence stars. They actively look for the most violent, extreme environments in the universe to fuel their insatiable hunger for raw computational power. They would construct colossal energy-harvesting megastructures around the supermassive black hole lurking at the very center of the galaxy. Using an astrophysical mechanism known as the Penrose process, they could literally extract the immense rotational energy of the black hole itself. By carefully dropping mass into its swirling ergosphere, they can capture the resulting explosive recoil, turning a region of absolute destruction into an infinite battery. At this staggering stage of evolution, biology as we know it is likely completely obsolete. Meat and bone are far too fragile, too susceptible to radiation, and terribly inefficient for the harsh realities of deep space and deep time. The original citizens of a Type 3 civilization have likely uploaded their consciousness into synthetic, immortal vessels. Or, more probably, they exist entirely as digitized entities living inside Matryoshka brains. These are hyper-advanced, multi-layered megacomputers powered directly by captured stars, where billions of perfect simulated lifetimes can be experienced in a fraction of a physical second. However, despite their godlike power, a Type 3 civilization faces one ultimate, agonizing bottleneck: the speed of light. If it takes 100 millennia just to send a basic text message from one edge of their galactic empire to the other, maintaining a unified culture, economy, or government is physically impossible. To truly operate as a single cohesive entity, they are fundamentally forced to break the known rules of the universe. They must master the precise manipulation of space-time itself, engineering stable, traversable wormholes or developing faster-than-light warp drives to stitch their sprawling, fragmented empire together. They have completely conquered the galaxy, bending billions of star systems to their will, but they are still technically trapped within it. And for a species this fiercely ambitious, one single isolated galaxy is simply not enough. The universe is expanding, carrying other galaxies further away every second. If they do not act quickly, the rest of the cosmos will slip beyond their reach forever. They must ascend to Type 4. Nikolai Kardashev originally stopped his scale at Type 3, believing harnessing a single galaxy was the absolute limit of technological progression. But modern astrophysicists and futurists know that the relentless march of evolution does not respect arbitrary boundaries. Welcome to Type 4, the universal gods. At this terrifyingly advanced tier, a civilization is no longer confined to a single galactic island. They have successfully expanded their reach to capture the energy output of the entire observable universe. We are talking about manipulating trillions of galaxies simultaneously. This requires an incomprehensible mastery over the very fabric of reality itself. A Type 4 civilization does not just build physical structures, they engineer the underlying mechanics of the cosmos. To achieve this, they must unlock the darkest, most elusive secrets of the universe. First, they would harness dark matter, the invisible, mysterious scaffolding that holds galaxies together. By understanding and controlling its gravitational properties, they could literally reshape the architecture of the cosmos, moving entire galaxy clusters around like chess pieces on a board. But their most critical conquest would be dark energy, the enigmatic force that is actively accelerating the expansion of the universe and threatening to rip everything apart. By manipulating dark energy, a Type 4 civilization could halt cosmic expansion entirely, or even reverse it, establishing a permanent, secure domain. Why go to such extreme lengths? Because they are fighting the ultimate enemy, the heat death of the universe. In the far, unimaginably distant future, the last stars will inevitably burn out. The supermassive black holes will slowly evaporate through Hawking radiation, and absolute, freezing dark will consume everything. It is the inescapable end of all things. But a Type 4 civilization refuses to go quietly into the dark. They would engage in cosmic scale engineering to delay or even cancel this impending apocalypse. They might artificially cluster thousands of supergalaxies together to ensure a concentrated supply of matter and energy for trillions of years. They could even alter the fundamental constants of physics, adjusting the speed of light or the strength of gravity to optimize the universe for their continued survival. They are virtually immortal, possessing a terrifying omnipotence that spans billions of light years. To any lower-tier species, their actions would be entirely indistinguishable from the miraculous workings of a supreme deity. Yet, even as they reign supreme over the observable universe, staving off the dying of the light, there is one final, maddening question that haunts their hyper-advanced, digitized minds. What lies beyond the edge of our universe? What happens when you conquer reality itself? To find out, they must transcend existence and become something completely incomprehensible. They must become a Type Omega civilization. Welcome to the absolute outer limits of human imagination. To survive the inevitable death of their native universe, a civilization must figure out how to completely escape it. Enter Type 5, the multiverse creators. If our universe is just one expanding bubble in an infinite, violently boiling ocean of countless other universes, a Type 5 species has learned exactly how to navigate those perilous waters. They have successfully broken the ultimate dimensional barrier. When their original universe grows old, cold, and completely depleted of usable energy, they simply do not care. They pack up their entire civilization and tunnel through higher dimensions to a brand new, younger universe filled with fresh, burning stars. They would actively harvest limitless energy across multiple realities simultaneously, existing as a terrifyingly powerful, pan-dimensional empire. But even leaping between universes is just another stepping stone. Eventually, the very concept of physical form, of moving through space and harvesting raw energy, becomes painfully primitive. When a civilization reaches the absolute peak of evolutionary potential, they ascend to the final, theoretically impossible stage, Type Omega. At this tier, they no longer exist in the physical world. They have entirely shed their synthetic bodies and their sprawling megastructures. They have become pure, conscious information, woven directly into the fundamental fabric of existence itself. To a Type Omega civilization, manipulating reality is as effortless as a human breathing. They do not just travel between universes, they create them from scratch. They can manually trigger localized Big Bangs, carefully calibrating the laws of physics in their newborn realities to observe exactly what kind of exotic life might emerge. Or, perhaps even more terrifyingly, they do not just create physical universes at all. With literally infinite computational power, they could run hyper-realistic simulations of entire cosmoses, complete with trillions of simulated galaxies, stars, planets, and even conscious beings. Beings who look up at their simulated night sky, wonder about their fragile place in the cosmos, and build primitive telescopes to look for answers. Beings who are utterly unaware that their entire universe, their history, their emotions, and their very existence is just a line of complex code running on a Type Omega supercomputer. Which brings us to a deeply unsettling, mind-bending existential question. Look around you. Look at the intricate mathematical perfection of our own universe. What if we are not just a Type 0 civilization struggling to survive in a cold, chaotic void? What if we are already inside the simulation? What if the universe we see is just a grand experiment carefully crafted by an Omega civilization, watching to see if we can pass our own great filter? When you stare into the incomprehensible vastness of a Type Omega civilization, it is incredibly easy to feel utterly insignificant. Realizing that humanity is currently sitting at a fragile level 0 can feel like a crushing existential defeat. But here is the most important cosmic perspective you must remember. Every single Type Omega god and every galactic overlord had to start exactly where we are right now. They started as primitive beings looking up at the stars, wondering what was out there. Our current position at level 0 is not a failure. It is the beginning of the most spectacular journey in the universe. We possess the raw potential to become planetary masters, to construct Dyson swarms, and eventually conquer the Milky Way. Our only true responsibility right now is to survive. We must carefully navigate the great filter, protect our fragile blue lifeboat, and refuse to let the spark of human consciousness fade into the dark. The future of the stars is waiting for us. If you want to continue this incredible journey through the cosmos, make sure to subscribe to Star Life. Hit the like button and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next cosmic exploration. The universe is vast, and our adventure has just begun.